I thought my manager was a sponsor, but he seems to be taking credit for my work. How do I turn this around?
By the way, this is not a unique challenge. I think this happens to everyone in their career. And, honestly, sometimes you just have to look at it. And, in my experience, one, say, what a compliment. What a compliment it is that a senior leader is seeing so much value in their work that they are owning that, especially to their higher ups throughout the organization. You don't get a higher compliment, and a lot of leaders will not take work, and that's also disappointing and discouraging, in a different way. So that's point one. Take the compliment. Point two is have the heart-to-heart conversation with the leader, and don't have the heart-to-heart conversation in you are taking credit for my work and I hate you for that. Have the conversation in the hey, listen, I see that you're taking my work and you're showing it to the leadership team. I am so grateful for that. I am so grateful that I've mastered your voice in a way that you feel comfortable doing that. But I want to grow in my career and I want the opportunities to share some of this myself. How can we best do that? And if you come up with some ideas. So if for example, that your team has a monthly business review, be like, hey, is there an upcoming monthly business review with the leadership team that I can come to and I can present our materials, or some other thing. Come with ideas associated with it. Be proactive and be positive about it. And I bet your leader will be more receptive than you think to that. They probably don't even realize that they're doing it, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say making it more about how can you help me increase my
Yeah.
visibility, that sort of thing. And with ideas, but really asking the person
Mhm.
for help in
Yep.
terms of your career and so on. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's a very nuanced point, and to Jen's point, it's going to happen. So you really do need to be prepared for it, and you also need to be um, to make sure you're grounded in your own story. So your job is to make your boss look good. Like that is a big part of your job, and that is a very great way to be successful at your job. So making sure that you don't get so hung up in needing the prize or the award that you get in the way of the bigger success and the bigger win is important. But to Amy's point, I completely agree. Getting into the conversation early, what your needs are for your own professional growth, and typically when it's a credit challenge, what you're actually yearning for is better visibility and also better access to information. So position it as that, ask for that, and use that to also make your boss look good. And again, create more wins so you're not so scarcity mindset of like, oh, I need credit for this thing because this is the only thing I've ever done. Like use it as a launch pad to make the pie bigger and to really open up new opportunities for yourself.
Now, in some cases, the boss is doing it on purpose and they are, a dick. So, so in that case, I think I mean, it's always important to diversify kind of your sponsors and people who know what you're doing and that sort of thing. But in this case in particular, so what are ways do you ladies, have you done this in the past of kind of getting other people to know about your work besides your boss, right?
Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, I think that's just a matter of having the confidence to reach out to people and kind of work through and bring them into the process. In that case, you are going to have to also sacrifice a little bit of ego because you're going to have to say, I need your help with this. I want your help, and I want your voice in this because honestly, if you are experiencing that, they're probably doing the same thing to their fellow leaders, but you're not going to run to a peer of theirs and say, hey, listen, he's stealing my work, and he's being a jerk about it. You can get to that information in the same way by going to them and saying, I need your help. I want to hear your voice. I want to understand where you're coming from because I'm not sure I'm hearing all the different parts of it, and have those conversations and really listen to them about it. And kind of hopefully via that you get their sponsorship and share their voice.
The other thing I would say is outside of like when you're trying to deconstruct getting credit for something you've already done, it's a little bit too late, right?
Yeah.
So what you're doing is applying learnings to the next go around. And so I think getting good at the map of stakeholders and of voices that are influencers and holders of power in your world matters. You should be doing this well before the moment that you're trying to get credit or get someone on your side or get a sponsor. You should be starting from that point of view. Who is the holders of power in my world? Who have outsized voices? Who could I learn from? And then you need to figure out how to put yourself in situations where you're interacting with those people more. And you should actually even bring this to the boss that's taking credit for your work and saying, hey, I would like to have an opportunity to work more with this person over here because I think they're really impressive to me. Is there a way that you could introduce that idea, on my behalf or something like that? So use all of your tools and be strategic in general about who is important for your career and who are the people that are talking about you in rooms you're not in. These are important things to be doing all the time.